Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a Stormhaven list. This deck is very similar to the top 16 Dream Tournament Stormhaven list, but I've replaced the Dark Janine, with Valhalla in general, just because I don't have any, and this is a solid replacement. Other than that, it just runs a single ancient line. I'm guessing mainly for tempo-y type swings. And, you know, the basics, so Snow White, Birdsong, Angelic Knight for a nice little boost and ward. There's a few good options to run most of these cards, so why not, I guess. Other than that, everything else is pretty stock standard for a Havencraft, with just the few new tech cards in that really help boost the deck to make it a little bit quicker and a little bit more effective. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video, so we'll get right into the games. So we've got match 1 here. Sword versus our Haven deck. So we get Double Tribunal and Sacred Plea. We actually have 2 sword matches, I believe, one after the other, and then the final match, I think, for these 3 matches. We start off with a pretty solid curve, 1, 2, 3. Probably not want to drop the 3 drop though, we'd prefer to play something else, which we get a few different options. So that works out quite nicely. So start off with the Sacred Plea turn 1, which is exactly what you want to aim for when you're playing a Sacred Plea in this way. Fortunately, they do get Ding Dong. Not Ding Dong, sorry, now I'm making mistakes. They get Unica. Not too hard to deal with. We've got, you know, the Black Inscription and stuff to deal with these 2/2s, which isn't too bad at all. Then they boost, making things even harder to deal with. Great fun that is. So we do get a solid board. This bird keeping disciple is actually really quite good. Being able to get those Pinion Prayers out and get a 4 value like minion is quite good. Oh, we see their ward. Little pain in the ass to deal with. Definitely not impossible. Now comes the really hard decision to make here. It was, how the hell do I want to deal with this and still not get smashed? And I decided to go with the Tin Soldier. It's an effective way to deal with this Hector by trading in the 2/1 and then killing the 5/5 while leaving myself with a 5/1 and a 4/4 on board. Pretty effective way to deal with things, guys. It's just not too bad a play at all. It could be another option. I was thinking of maybe going actually Black Inscription and something else, but this play ends up working out just fine. So, and luckily saving that Black Inscription fits really nicely here when they have a 7/7 over 4/4. Opening up this trade. The other option would have been to go with the Winged Sentinel and then just proc the 3 cost and then eventually just trade things. But they concede anyway, so pretty quick game. So we're going to game 2, which is a little bit longer. So we have a second sword match here. I would have liked a little more variation, but with the time constraint that I was under to do this video, I had to settle for what I could get, so... Plus sword isn't a bad representation of the meta, considering meta sword. But we've got the Lyrial Celestial Archer as a 2-drop, which is not a bad solid drop, along with the Beast Call if they don't really do anything. And fortunately drawing into Snow White, which is a great play to have. The unfortunate part is that they drop a 2/2, making it really difficult to deal with this. So I just decided to drop the Snow White. Worst case, they do trade into it. And then I just have to find another way to deal with things. Fortunately, they don't, and they just go with the Old Man, Old Woman card that you don't see in many sword decks. So it's actually not a bad thing to see a different kind of sword deck come out. It seems like they're pushing the whole Storm multiple attack combination with this sword deck that they're using here. And we have a few nice options available to us. So I decided to take the Snow White combo. Just getting a little bit of damage in, not worrying too much about what's on board, and then just killing off the 1/4. We have a perfectly good March Hare's tea time for turn 5 if we need it. Unfortunately, they do get their own old man and old woman card. On the flip side though, fortunately, it's not too bad to deal with. So we get to quite easily play this hand out. Going into the March, proccing the Tin Soldier, clearing a couple things. Actually clearing the entire board I believe, using the 6/4 as a beat stick. Works out quite well in my favour. Plus we also have the 1 amulet and now the 4 amulet, which can be procced, which gets them to concede pretty quickly. So game 3. Unlike the previous 2 sword games, this guy doesn't concede instantly, which is pretty nice. Stormhaven seems to have a nice advantage if you do get a solid curve out. If you don't, on the other hand, it's a little less effective. I played a few games with this deck and I only lost a couple out of the ones that I played. I think I played a total of 5, lost 2, and then just picked these 3. A couple of quick games and then 1 final game. Plus I didn't want to fill the whole video with just sword. So we got to the Pinion Prayer, being a 2-drop amulet, solid 1-drop. Could have went with the Sacred Plea, decided to leave that instead. Probably might have been better to play the Sacred Plea, then everything would proc at the same time. But I want to get that early damage out against Rune here, so they can't overpower me. Plus the Pinion Prayer animated is just a great looking card with that blue. They do go for the return, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but definitely not impossible to deal with. I believe that I'm playing against a D-Shift here, or a variation of D-Shift. People are still experimenting. This video was pre-recorded a little in advance, so this was the experimental period of the meta. I'm sure by the time this video does go out, which I believe will be 3 odd days after recording this, that the meta has settled a fair bit compared to where it is at now. So we do get to use the Celestial Archer here, pinging the 1 damage and then just ramming 5 total with it, and then an extra 2 from the bird, which is pretty respectable for those 2 cards. And unfortunately they do go for the return, which actually can work in my favour with what we have on board. So we easily have the Heavenly Hound, the Archer, plenty of other cards as viable options here. We do end up taking the Archer, just to keep dropping that Lion, why not? I hold on to the Grimnir and just go for the Heavenly Hound. It's the same sort of effect for ward, actually 1 extra stat point, and I can keep Grimnir for the final 10 damage if I need it. So they do go for Into the Looking Glass. I'm not sure what kind of D-Shift deck they were running here. It's definitely an interesting one and pulled a lot of cards from the deck in a very short period of time. So they do go for the Crimson Sorcery, of course. Now with this hand, I had to weigh up what was the better option to decide how to do this. And I decided in the end to trade the 2 into the 4/2 and then use Gouda to proc it. I don't believe I had lethal anyway here. I think with the March Hares that was like, what, 3 plus that, and I wouldn't have got the clear, so it wouldn't have been great to do it that way. This way was definitely the most effective way to do this. And now with the next couple of options, the March Hare's Tea Time with the Tin Soldier is an easy 3 damage to their face, leaving us only to have to deal an extra 3. And with a Lion on 5 and the Birdsong combo in the next turn, we were going to pretty easily close this out. I believe that they realized that and eventually concede. Because yeah, they don't have anything left. except Flame Destroyer. Oh, maybe they didn't concede. I was trying to remember what they did here. So they just go for a bunch of things, ram my face, end the turn, give it to me. What do I do? Oh, I misplay, that's what I do. Whoops. Oh, that's what I did there. I was wondering why I made that mistake for a second. It was a couple hours since I played these games, so I couldn't remember what I actually did for this match. That's right, I should have played the Lion, went into the Divine Birdsong. This was a terrible misplay overall. Wow. Shocking, guys. Wish I had noticed that a lot sooner. I wouldn't have tried to wait this out for as long as I did. I could have just played Lion, played Birdsong, and won the game. Wow. Maybe it's just an extended BM. Put an F in the comments to pay respects to my horrible, horrible misplay of that. So, if you enjoyed the video, you can check out the deck list in the description below. I don't think there's much in this deck I would personally change. People need to realize that Snow White isn't easily changeable just because of the fact that it combos so well Heavenly Hound and deals with early pressure, which is what you need in this expansion at the moment. Having that early pressure is so crucial. Other things that you can't really replace easily would probably be Lion. Lion is pretty good. Probably even running a couple of Lion could work, but then the Valhalla in general is easy to replace. You want to change that with Dark Gene if you have it. Otherwise, do what I did, play Valhalla in general. It works out just as well, nearly. Other than that, everything else is actually pretty cheap, and it's not a bad budget range deck. Other than the fact that it's running, what, 10 golds total, I think? 9 golds total. And then 1 legend. That's not the cheapest deck, but it's not the dearest deck either, so it's really not too bad a range if you're looking for a cheaper deck to build. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.